There are 6 modules that I'll be teaching. The first module is how to get the sound into the soul. Where is the soul? And the soul is in the heart, according to some yogic traditions. Now it is in the third eye and in the pituitary. Or some say it is in the pineal gland. So I'm going to do something that covers everything so that I don't want to leave out any part, whether the heart or the pineal or the pituitary or the third eye. When you infuse this sound Brzee into the soul, then it will pass this sound to the entire body and mind. And how does this sound work? Because the rational mind kicks in, and how does it work? Creation is a matter of revelation. Something is revealed. Something begins to show up, and that's what is revelation. Something has to show up, come out of chaos. It becomes clear. Creation, at one point I used to define it as, creation is clarity. And I worked on it for many years to come up with this definition. Creation is clarity from chaos. I do not know how to make $1 million. As long as you do not know, you won't do that. And how do you know? How do you know the knowledge to create? By delving deep into your own brain, your own mind, your own consciousness through various devices, and Brzee is one. Brzee uses a sound to bring legibility. They have to be legible, visibility. And sounds are the very fundamental principle for creation. This is the finding of the rishis, the finding of quantum physics also. Even the particle is created by the strings, the sounds. And Brzee is one of the strings. One of the bosonic sounds, one of the fermionic sounds. And if you have the sounds, then you will understand how you can create. So what we are going to do? We are going to give this sound Brzee into the third eye. The third eye is in the physical, not in the physical body, but in the astral body. But then there are physical correlates. And it comes under both the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. It's very interesting. According to the mystical traditions, the pituitary plays a very important role in scarcity consciousness. See, you want to make $1 million. The pituitary says, no, how? It's not possible. Your salary is only $10,000. How can you make $1 million? So it stops. The pituitary stops, they thought. And then says, discards it. But whereas right above the pituitary is the pineal gland, it has the ability to do it. It can conceive of anything. There is nothing that it cannot conceive, the pineal gland and the DMT, the dimethyltryptamine that secretes there. So what we need to do, what we are going to do in this technique is we are going to get rid of the negativity of the pituitary by applying sounds there. And we are going to enhance the abundance of the pineal gland by working on that. Both of them are in the third eye. The third eye is starts from here and then goes here. It's a vertical eye in the subtle body. And then we also will do in the heart, but that will be in a different module. So that is how we are going to introduce Brzee to your soul, which is your root. And this I have not done before. This is the first time I'm doing it. That is a rediscovery. I have a few things that I'm looking at here so that I don't want to miss anything. Now, the soul is not in your control. You have inherited this soul from your parents, both sides, grandparents, great-great-grandparents. They have contaminated it with scarcity consciousness. What are you going to do with that? So you are not going to be thinking, you are not thinking your own thoughts, you are thinking their thoughts. So although you try to bring your own thoughts and then read books like Napoleon Hill and say, think and become rich. So you read that book, you are charged up and then say that I'm thinking rich now, and I'm going to make it work, and it doesn't. Why? Because of the soul. The soul that you have inherited is contaminated. So we have to remove this contamination. So if you want to know more about this, I have videos called Soul Genetics. Soul genetics is just as you have inherited biological genes, biogenetics, you have also inherited soul genes. So there is, what are you going to do about it? That you can do something about it. How to clean up that soul energy so that you will be able to manifest freely with a new knowledge of Brzee. So we will teach during this program a soul cleansing technology called Tarpanam to clean the contamination from your mother's side and the father's side for generations, because you are not different from them. The second model is the mind. And this is a very tricky thing, the mind. The mind is not only inherently programmed with negativity and scarcity, it is also out of control. If your mind can hold Brzee for, say, Even 5 minutes without any break, you have accomplished. You cannot. Thoughts will come and then distract you. The problem is the mind. The mind is a monkey. It moves from one tree to another, like the monkey, one thought to another thought. We have a minimum of 35 thoughts in a minute. Do we need it? We don't need it. We don't need these 35 thoughts. So it's there is a bug in the system. It is an engineering fault which we have not corrected it. Although Patanjali, the father of yoga, he wanted to correct it. Patanjali doesn't blah blah. If he goes to him, he will speak in 2, 3, 4, 5 words, not more than that. And within that 5 words, he will say the solution. The solution for the mind is stop the mind. Chitta, vritti, nirodha. And how do you stop it? He will give you the sound to stop it. This sound will cancel your mind. Chit, vrit. The sound it will cancel. Stop the mind. So these are people who had complete control over their mind, over nature. And that is Vedic science, that is the Siddha science. So we have to infuse the mind with the sound, Brzee, so that instead of thinking 35 thoughts in a minute, it goes on thinking Brzee, 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 Brzee. But what happens, you have said Brzee a few times, then thoughts come. And you do not know what to do. The thoughts are so powerful. And the thoughts, I don't mind if these thoughts are going to be really outrageous thoughts. They are thoughts of great ideas are coming to you. And through these thoughts, they are not. They are all called karmic thoughts. Karmic thoughts means the thoughts that your ancestors had thought, the thoughts you had thought in your previous incarnations, all these thoughts are there. They are worthless on the one hand. On the other hand, they are restrictive thoughts, mediocre thoughts, scarcity thoughts. So we have to change these karmic thoughts. And then only we can introduce the sound, Brzee. So I will teach many methods of how to deal with your mind, how to give it a repetition technique, and how to go engage the mind in the sound, step by step by step. And also completely bring it to a condition of vacuum. The mind becomes the subtlest. We do not know if the mind is there or not. At that time, we will introduce the sound. This is Patanjali's method. You introduce the sound when you have minimum the mind stuff. And he says, even the soul is not there. Even the soul is kept away. There is a consciousness, very the rock bottom level. And at that time, you introduce the sound, Brzee. Then you manifest. Then it gives you the consciousness, the abundance consciousness. Then I'm also going to talk about how your mind is affected by time. There is uptime, there is downtime for everyone. Some days are better than others. Some days are really bad. Psychologically, financially, relationship-wise, you have all these ups and downs. Why? The planets play a vital role in governing your mind, emotions, feelings. And they all occupy a certain time. And we are not aware of that. So we think that we just go on thinking thoughts, not looking at if there is any other way for me to know why this thought came to me and how can I deal with it. The ancient people, the yogis, thought about it. And then they found there is a direct relationship between the thoughts that you have and then the planets. Their transits affect you. I have experienced this in my life. Whenever I was running, when I ran my life, 6 years of my life, under the influence of a planet called Ketu. Ketu is one of the planets related to asceticism. I became a monk. I became a Swami. Right after my PhD and everything, so I just threw away everything and then I just put on a dress and then I left home. And after that, the period was gone and then the Venus started and then I started, cutting my hair, putting my suit on and then the change. It's not a huge chunk of period. Even within a day, all these changes are happening. And we have an app that several apps, that can tell you how to control that by looking at the apps. And also, I'm just now, for a very specific reason, facing north and doing this video. Why? North is the direction for attracting wealth. South is the direction for losing wealth. This is a general rule. North America, South America, North India, South India. There's more wealth in North India than in South India. This is also applicable even within a limited space here. So whenever you are going to do Brzee, face the north. Better northeast, then your mind will be aligned. Then Brzee will be more powerful as you practice the technique. I'm glad that I'm mentioning this. Understanding is very important. So when you face the north and do Brzee, and holding a turmeric in your hand and doing Brzee, or lighting a lamp with the ghee, put in hands. The goal of module 2 is moving your mind to scarcity thoughts to abundance thoughts. Scarcity consciousness to abundance consciousness. Once that is done, everything is done. We have to also get it into our body. That's very important. Infusing body with Brzee, and I call it as embodying Brzee. We don't see the mind, we don't see the soul, but we see the body. And the body is very important. Okay? And the body is the door to our mind, is the door to our soul. And the most important thing are the senses. So we have to get Brzee into your eyes first. Why eyes? You are learning creativity. Brzee is a creative sound. The sound brrr is creative. The sound of the God of creation, or creator God in India is called Brahma, Bra. Bra is also birth, Indo-European language. So you have to get Brzee into your eyes. The whole creation is just for the enjoyment of the eyes. There is no creation without your eyes. You go to sleep and then the building disappears, everything disappears. When you open your eyes in the morning, everything comes back. Okay. So what is necessary is to understand the eyes and how to get Brzee into your eyes. You have to create, you have to also get them into your ears. You have to get them into your tongue. The tongue, not that the ears are not important. Ears are very, very important. Because when you hear Brzee, sometimes you may want to play Brzee and listen to it, because that's more powerful. You know why? You are not doing anything. You are just only listening. That doesn't involve any effort on your part. The sound goes in to the ears. And that is very powerful. You can see changes in the brain when you are hearing. So we have done research on hearing, and then thinking, and then vocalizing. So Brzee is vocalizing. Then you hear somebody, the MP3 player is playing, you are hearing. And then you are thinking, they are all different. They are all different. Hearing is important. Because it has no effort of your own. Vocalizing is important too. Because vocalizing has, when the speech comes out, there is an energy that goes to build the reality that you want to build. It's a very complicated topic, so I don't want to say anything about it. Why speech is so important. The tongue. The tongue is in the body, you know. You can deliver this sound to the tongue, and the tongue will do a wonderful job. It will take the sound to the DNA. The saliva will pick up the sound more than anything else. And not only that, that is on a biochemical level. On a experiential level, the tongue is a pleasure center, is an emotional center. Everything that we want to enjoy totally, whether food or sex or kiss or any of these activities, the most emotionally charged acts are associated with the tongue. So much of literature available just on the tongue. So you can get the tongue into your body, into your emotions. And the way emotions, without emotions you cannot meditate, you cannot manifest. Just like procreation is emotions. Even recreation is also emotions, this is what I told Wayne Dyer when I said emotions are important. Without emotions, you cannot create. You want to create a baby or a building or a car or whatever you want to create, emotions. So Brzee working with the tongue will do the job.